Misty,
morning?
was it?
Misty, and then it's supposed to, by the time I leave, I think
Yeah,
it's supposed
actually
to
the
come
rain's
down.
coming when we're done.
Yeah, so I can't.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We see people delivering food in the city all the time in the rain.
Do I look like I deliver food in the rain?
Yeah, what was that supposed to mean, Alan?
Alan.
Hey,
yeah.
Alan, what was that supposed to mean?
The idea is if they can do it, why can't you? Or what, you're special? You can't handle a little rain? Put on a little poncho?
You know when when his lips get tight like that, he's not saying what's really on his mind.
He's holding back?
He's not saying
Like if
what's
we were
really
off air,
on his mind.
I'd be on blast right now.
You hear that little sound?
Maybe that's why I did that there, because I knew he wouldn't come back at me. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Here's the question. After
That's the bucket he put you in, Key. So disrespectful.
I'm uncomfortable right now.
DoorDash, Keyshawn Ding.
Actually, that would
be great.
What a great commercial that would be.
See, he's trying to put money in your pocket now, Key.
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, I like you.
That's an endorsement.
Now
Hey,
I'm
you're
getting
back,
you an
Alan.
endorsement deal. Okay. So all the moves that we've now seen made, whether it's in free agency, also in the draft, we think about now teams going forward. We love to do this. Coaches on the hot seat. Yeah, I know the season doesn't start until September, but let's do it anyway. So which coach now, after all the moves that have been made, has the most to prove this season? Who is there? Who do you look at and think, you better get it done this year after all that's been done for your team or all the expectations now on your team? Key, who would it be? Give me one, maybe one.
But see, I want to make it clear, this is not about being fired. I want to be clear here. It's not about a coach being fired, but the pressure.
Right.
is on them to get their team into a situation that they're competing for a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
My number one target would be Sean McVay out in Los Angeles. And I think when you look at Sean McVay, based on him coming in, boy wonder, and everybody, you stand next to him, he sneezes on you, you get a job. All of that whole little theory that was going on for about a year and a half. He was the great, he's inspirationalist coaching, blah, blah, blah. All that sizzle. He's done well. He's gone to a Super Bowl and a couple playoff appearances. But all fingers pointed to the quarterback and Jared Goff being an issue, which means that I can go to Les Snead now and ask Sean McVay and say, Les, look, I can't win with this guy. There's no way this guy, I can't do it. I got to find the guy. So they pick up the phone, they call and try to see if Aaron Rodgers is available. Click, they hang up on him. They say, okay, we'll go get Matthew Stafford. They traded Jared Goff away after 2 years of giving him $100+ million.
And they painted him as the problem.
And they painted him as the problem. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, now you get what you want. And anything less, in my opinion, based upon the haul that you gave, anything less than winning the division and going to the Super Bowl is a complete failure as far as I'm concerned. Because Jared Goff just took you to the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
So not the NFC Championship, but the Super Bowl. You've got to get to the Super Bowl.
Anything less than getting to the Super Bowl. Anything less than getting to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Is because if I'm replacing you and bringing in Jay better get it done because you're doing a good job. Now, all of a sudden, I want Jay, and Jay is...
But Goff wasn't apparently doing a good job. That was the problem. All last year we saw, and then we read about the rift that they had between them.
You say he wasn't doing a good job, right? You were not satisfied with Jared Goff.
Okay.
Let's assume Jared Goff was the problem holding him back. And you got tired of trying to fix a guy that took you to a Super Bowl and a guy that's won the division a couple times and took you to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You got tired. I can't do it anymore. You gave up what you gave up to get Matthew Stafford. So to me, that tells me with your defense, by the way, you lose your defensive coordinator and bring in Raheem Morris, and Coach Staley is now with the Los Angeles Chargers. To me, you have told me, Jay, that Jared Goff is the problem. And if I can get something better than Jared Goff, we're going to the Super Bowl. That's what you're telling me.
All right. So Sean McVay is one.
I like that one, Key. That's a good one. You're from L.A., beautiful weather, the shades.
I'm not a Rams fan, though.
I feel that, though.
New stadium.
But at the end of the day, tell him, Alan. Tell him, Alan. Tell him, Alan. Play the sound, Alan. Tell him. Tell him, Alan.
Alan, that's your cue.
Alan, that's your cue, Alan. I don't think
now let everybody know that you're not talking to me.
No, I'm talking. I'm talking to Alan
now
Yates,
people listening to radio
our sound
going,
guy.
what the hell's Han doing
supposed
wrong?
To come in with the thing. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. That's L.A., Key. I want to talk about America's team. America. Talk about a team that yesterday we got into a conversation about.
Wrong.
How you gonna play it 10 minutes after I done gave you the damn cue?
There's a delay. There's a bit of a delay.
Wrong.
You're wrong. Now just let it play.
You're wrong.
Jeez.
I wonder who Allen's going to blame on that one.
Too bad it wasn't Allen, but continue.
No, Allen throwing somebody else under the bus. I love it. All right.
Was it James?
Was it?
That
Oh,
That wasn't my fault.
I don't want to turn us on each other
Listen,
like this.
Alan told me it was ready to go, and apparently it wasn't ready to go. So I'm just gonna throw it
now we're
back
gonna
out.
have
This is
problems.
what happens.
We need to have a
See?
camera in the control
The
room
whole
watching
segment
these
is
guys.
derailed now. The whole segment just.
Ruined
Evan's
it.
sitting there.
This
as
is
a producer, not
ridiculous.
doing anything. All right, let's
It
go.
really
Judge.
chaps my. Never mind.
He likes it.
The chaps my. It
loves
gets
to
me
say
every.
that.
It gets me every time I hear it.
Your point being?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yesterday we got into this conversation about how great of a draft they had. Yeah. You know, does their defense just need to be top 15 for them to go further than what they were last year? They re-signed Dak Prescott. We talked about Dak Prescott every damn day.
Mm-hmm.
Every damn day. Key had to sit up here and lament multiple times. He's not going anywhere. He's going back to Dallas. This is America's team. Let me tell you about Mike McCarthy. Last year, Key was ready to fire him mid-season. His record over the last 3 seasons, 17, 26, and 1. This is the NFC East. You better win the damn NFC East. You better win it. I heard Greeny yesterday talking about he thinks the Washington football team is going to win the NFC East. No, the Cowboys
Ryan
have all the
Fitzpatrick?
talent to win the NFC East. Can they win a playoff game? Sure. If they don't live up to expectations, this year after you fired your DC, you brought in your guy Dan Quinn, you brought in somebody else, he's going to retool the defense. I understand. I'm going to be patient. It's not going to all happen in 1 year. But if you don't get a playoff win, if you don't win that division, Mike McCarthy, you're out. You're out. They were ready to have him out last year, Key. Were you not ready to have him out last year?
Well, I thought he should have. I thought at the time that he probably should have been gone based on what they were doing, and he couldn't get them to play better when Kyle Shanahan had no team, and his team looked like they were trying to
coached him up.
compete
Yeah.
and coach him up. But I'm willing to let
That's it.
Mike McCarthy coast a little bit and see what happens.
But I'll
I'm
tell you
just
what,
saying,
though,
as much as we talk about this team, they're the most polarizing team in the NFL now.
That's it. And that's why that's a great take because of that. Because of the fact that Cowboy Nation, you think they're going to sit back now? Like
Different, though.
With that division, with Dak now in the fold, with that offense, yeah, no, I think there'll be a lot of pressure on Mike McCarthy to prove
That
something
pressure,
this year.
though, is a little bit different than Sean McVay's pressure.
How?
Because the expectations for the Cowboys is like get better, win the division, advance into the second round of the playoff type. The expectations for the Rams, based on what was holding them back, was one guy. The Cowboys needed 20 different pieces.
Yeah, their defense was
They
a
needed
mess.
all this sort of stuff and
they
got to
needed
come
Dak to get
together.
healthy.
You need one guy in LA, and that was the quarterback. And the quarterback that you selected is Matthew Stafford, who had a hell of a career in Detroit. And if you ask most people that cover the sport would say he was in Detroit. If he had this, if he'd be good, he was one of the top 5 quarterbacks. Okay. Well, you got all
Now you
that
got
down.
it. Now you got it.
Well, let's see what happens.
No, both. I
Two
think
pressure
both are
cookers,
great
both.
takes because again, talking about the truth.